What's up? So my name is Anga Hackula and I go by Skill Music SA on social media everywhere. Basically, I'm a music producer, classically trained pianist, and I also do music education where you can find where I teach typical things such as music business, how performance royalties work, and I go by Skill Music SA on YouTube if you have not seen me before. So how I got into production music was basically one of my friends, a close friend of mine, Silas Beats. I actually think he works with Mama Dance if I'm not mistaken. He introduced me to the concept of making music for background. I'm sure most musicians know that there's music always playing. When you're watching TV, there's music always playing, moods are being set, and those moods are being set mostly by the music that you're hearing in the background. And since I have some form of classically trained piano, I thought that my music would actually make sense if I went and made production music. So then I started working on learning how the ins and outs of it actually works, researching, listening to a lot of the music on different production libraries, and that's where I learned I could probably make some production music. So I've actually produced 3 genres that are not my comfortable genres as per se. I'd say the genre I'm most comfortable with, what I call my ground. My ground is hip hop. I'm mainly a hip hop producer. But since I moved abroad, I started making other genres. I listened to a lot of Amapiano, Gqom, Kwaito, and then I realized, hey, Kwaito is actually not so far away from hip hop, and then the other 2 genres I thought or feel stemmed from that. So the transition from Kwaito to Amapiano and then Gqom, either way, kind of led me to that trajectory. And I figured, since I'm listening to a lot of it, my sound can actually adapt to that sound for production music. So that's how I ended up making those 3 genres. So the favorite album I've produced is Amapiano 4 Glossy and Refined. This is linked to the fact that it's actually the first time that I tried the genre and I actually really enjoyed making it. It's also because there's a few tracks that really pop into mind. There's one called Chisanyam where I've got this brass going into the Amapiano sound, which is kind of different, but I also got to express the fun side of making the music. So Amapiano 4 has to be my favorite one that I've produced. Advice I would give for making production music and generally music is to have humility, because at the end of the day, you're making music for a production library, and the production library and the personnel are better in the know with what the music user they are giving music to wants. So the advice they give you, critiques, tips, etc., are more accurate and will most likely get you better placed because they know exactly where the music would work and what needs to be changed to give your music a better chance to achieve that goal. So humility is 100% necessary, I feel, for production music. So the gear that I use at my MIDI controller is by Native Instruments, the Complete Control A61. I've got a drum pad by Akai MPD232, and the sound card that I use is by Focusrite Scarlett 6i6. And then the headphones that I use for most of my production currently are Bayer Dynamics DT900 but I also have reference when I use my Yamaha HS5s. You definitely, no matter what happens, need a decent computer and of course some decent software to make the music on. The rest can be added on when you start generating income or when you start saving and investing in the career, but you definitely need somewhat of a good computer and a decent DAW, a DAW, and patience is required. But I must emphasize that you probably could get away with just a mouse and a computer and some decent pair of headphones. So I highly suggest you get the Bayer Dynamics DT990s. Work in the future, you can definitely expect more Kwaito, more Gqom, more Amapiano. Those are the 3 genres that I'm focusing in terms of production music. And then from the personal level, I'm shifting more into the music education space. So more YouTube videos, more consultations, more education to help empower my fellow independent South African musicians.